So like, great to meet you. And I just want to kind of, delve into what you've been up to during lockdown. Just tell us a little bit about what you've been doing here at your garage conversion.
Well, what I did in lockdown really is obviously we were told in March last year that we had to come home and lock down for, initially it was 2 weeks or something, but not knowing when we could go back. So really I started with the kids, and we just started to try and occupy ourselves in the garden, really just trying to get them outdoors and things. So we started off just mainly cutting the grass, tidying up and trying to keep them busy. And then it sort of like moved over to the outbuildings. I've got some outbuildings that really hadn't done nothing with them, had no use for them. One was like a tractor shed, and the others were horse stables. At the time we didn't have any horses, and we didn't intend to get none. So first of all, we started to like say, oh, well, look, we could knock a wall out here and there, and we could make a bit of space, and we could maybe put a couple of cars in this area, because I like to collect cars. So the kids were like, they were all up for it, great, and we just started really jet washing the floors to make it tidy. And we said, oh look, why don't we take this wall out here, and we could put a little display on just there, or we could do something here. And the kids were like, oh, can we? Yeah. So we got a little old pickup truck, and we started to knock a couple of bricks out. And even my daughter at the time, like she'll have been like 7 coming up to 8. She was picking a hammer up. You might see later on in the video, you might actually get a clip of her really, really getting stuck in. You have to step back if it goes forward this way. Go on, you're gonna get that. That's 3 in 1.
Go on.
You're not going up there. 3 bricks come out one go probably.
That one's going. Oh, keep going. Go on. Oh,
yes.
Go on.
Do you think you can get that one? So we spent a bit of time, and we knocked one wall out, and then it was another one, and before you knew it, we were through into the next building, and then we said, why don't we put a second floor and a lift? So obviously we got calculations and things like that, and we had a second floor. We put the lift in, and the kids just really enjoyed getting stuck in and creating a space. There you go. I mean, the kids already talking now, and they're saying how they enjoyed lockdown, which we've been fortunate really that we've got the space and being able to give them that. Because a lot of kids didn't have that, they're in small houses. I mean, some people are in flats and places. So we've been really fortunate to be able to keep them away from the anxieties and the mental health that they would maybe suffer in a lockdown, not knowing when they are going to be allowed out to play with their friends.
And so, how did the idea come about? Like, obviously, there's a competition at the moment. Tell us a little bit about this competition.
There's a competition, and up until last night, I didn't even really look what the prize was or nothing. But people kept tagging me in it on like social media, saying, "Oh, Lee, you need to show your shed," because my shed really is a big part of last year. So for this competition to come up at the end of it, and people to say, "Oh, look, enter it," I just thought it was a great idea, because we created it, and really it's only been getting shared with the kids. I go over there and I admire some of the cars we've got in stock and that, and I go around and look at it, but it'd be good to share it with other people, and the story of how the shed became, and really what it's going to be for the future onwards, because my kids are going to remember it. Like when they get in the 20s, 30s, 40s, they're going to be able to say, oh look, this is what we did, and hopefully it might still be there at that time, and they'll be able to say, look at this, and they'll be able to share it with their friends and their family.
Can you tell us a little bit about the vehicles that we can find over there?
Well, one of the cars you'll see, there's a like, it looks like a wedding bus. It's an Asquith, and I bought it from Disneyland in Japan, and it was dark green with a green velour interior, and I brought it back because it must have broke down on Disneyland itself, and obviously they didn't know how to get the parts and fix it. So it took me a little while to get it over. I had to put it in a high top container because the roof was high and things, but I brought it back and I painted it cream, had it restored cream on the outside. The condition was excellent anyway, and I had the interior done like in a cream leather. And then I've used it for some friends and family's weddings, so that's a really great one. There's a Buddhist hearse there, which you don't normally see one of those, that's crazy with the gold dragons and things on it, something different. There's some split screen camper vans, A lot of people really like those. So I've got some good friends in South America, so I've been restoring a couple of those there. I'm building a limousine as well. Another one that we've got over there is we've got a Sierra Cosworth that started off in the UK, went to Japan. One owner, 50,000 miles. I brought that back. I haven't really done anything with that apart from park it there and look at it. Got an Escort Tennis Cabriolet. It's one of 500 vehicles. It's a stunning car. We've got quite a lot from the 90s. We've got like Peugeot 205 1.9 GTI Cabriolets, a favourite of everyone's. We've got Toyota MR2 Mark 1s, what people call the AW11, supercharged ones of those. I've got a Mitsubishi Willys Jeep. I've got an Alfa Romeo Conrero. They only made 5 of those. I think the one I've got is number 3. We've got a Honda City Turbo, which comes as a combination. You could buy the motorcycle separate. It folds up and goes in the boot, and it's called a motor compo. So we've got the combination, which is really valuable if you've got the pair, and we've got the pair there. So that's a special car. We've got a Toyota Will, which was the first car in the world to have sat nav. It's like a bright orange bubble-looking car. It looks like something built today, but it was built over 20 years ago. And then we've got a huge collection of minis. I've got Paul Smith minis, 35th anniversary, 40th anniversary. We've got ERA turbos. I believe they built less than 400 of the turbo. We've got 3 of those. And we've got a XR3 pace car. It's like a commemorative vehicle. I think they built 30 after the Grand Prix, and it was the Ayrton Senna one in Sao Paulo, and it was to replicate the one that obviously set off the Grand Prix. So that's a special car, that really. You'll probably never see another one if they only built 30 and they were in South America. So the chance of seeing another one in the UK it's really slim. That's a special car.
So other than the vehicles that we can find over there, you've also got there's some of the pieces that look like collector's pieces but aren't vehicles. So tell us a little bit about that stuff. Yeah,
well, to be honest as well, part of this competition does ask about things like extra things like your memorabilia and all that. And I'm one for like picking up something everywhere I go. I can't help it, and if I see something unusual, I want to buy it, So, and especially if different people in different cultures have created things. And one of the things I've got is I've got like the wooden motorcycle. It looks like a Harley Davidson. I suppose it's pretty much replicated to look similar to one. We have that, and two 12-year-old boys in Indonesia built that for us. A friend of mine has a furniture business there, and he showed me them. So I said, oh yeah, I'd love one of those. So I got to choose which ones I wanted, and I bought 4, and I was fortunate enough that he shipped them for me as well. So the costs were like considerably less than what it would be for somebody else. So 2 12-year-old boys built them, and they built me. They built them and shipped them within 10 weeks, which is quite amazing, really, because like you couldn't. The cost of building one here would be like, it'd be extortionate compared to what it was, just in hours of labour. But they've created something that I've showed like joiners and carpenters, and when I tell them the age of the boys, they're amazed the fact that the skills that they've had to do it.
So I think it's time now for us to get over there and have a good look at what you've got.
Yeah.
I'm really interested, so let's go.
Yeah, let's show you, yeah.
Cool. So this hydraulic lift, was this originally here?
No, that was like one of the ideas. Once we started to clear it out, we came through and we thought it was such a tall building, but really we didn't really want it to walk around in too much. We just wanted to display the cars. So it's a little bit low, but it's all right for someone as short as me. So what we did is we took the measurements, worked it out with the strength and everything. We could just to say fit 2 levels of cars in. So, but to get the second level of cars in, we needed the lift. So we got the lift, then we had to secure the lift so there's no movement.
So this is that set piece that you were telling us about. So you've got your...
Yeah, this is the motor compo on the Honda City Turbo. As you can see, I haven't really got around to cleaning it or preparing it or anything, bike and car. But yeah, that just folds away. and the handlebars just spin them off, drop them down, put them inside there, lift it up, and into the boot it goes. But like I said earlier, if you've got that combination, if you've got the pair, that's, you know, you've got the ultimate.
And I imagine these are quite rare even in Japan, aren't they?
Yeah, they're so expensive. I mean, I was lucky to pick that one up because it was classed as a non-runner, but it was only because the brakes were unsafe. So what I did is I had the brakes done in Japan before we shipped it. So I was really fortunate. I took a chance with it and it paid off.
Yeah. Right then. So we'll have a look.
This one's the one with the nav. That's the only one in the world with the first one in the world with sat nav.
God. And like you say, it does look like a modern day vehicle. Like, sort of.
Yeah.
How old is it?
I think that one's about 20 years old, that car. And you can see with the lighting, you can see it's pearlescent orange as well, you know.
Tell us about this little. Is it a Renault?
This is the Renault 5 Turbo 2. I mean, this was one of the first ones done, but that's the ultimate of Renault 5. That's the one everybody wants. That car's like £100,000 car. I think the cheapest you see them in decent condition now is about 60,000, but they come out between 60 and 100,000. That's the Cosworth. That started life here. It went across Japan within the first year. It's done 50,000 miles. It's got one owner. I just haven't done anything with it. As you can see, there's a couple of little plastic trims it wants that were missing. Obviously, they couldn't replace them over there. They probably couldn't get their hands on them, but soon I'll get round to it. And I've already started actually a little bit. I've done the wheels and the tyres back to stock. But yeah, just a couple of things. I'll probably finish that this year.
So this is the one that you spoke of in the video that you've mentioned is one of your all-time favourite vehicles.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of the least valuable cars. But yeah, it's one of the favourites. Yeah, I bought it and I put a brand new stock hood on it, as you can see there, because they're really hard to find them white because they never stayed that clean even within a couple of years. That usually has a cover over it. And then I've invested in a number plate on it. It's a G1910 for tennis.
Tell us about these two here. The one on the left is the
green one's an MGR V8. That car's only done 500 miles from new. There's been a few articles on that car really, just because of how low the mileage is on it. It belongs to a pharmaceutical company in Japan. It's got service history even though the miles are so low. And it only ever really left to get its Shakens, which is the equivalent of the MOT. Really rare find. The other one, that's a Lotus Elan. That's left-hand drive. That one. So it was probably started off in America and went to Japan. But the Japanese like what it's seen is if you drive a left-hand drive car in Japan, it's seen that you're a smart person because the export market's so big, and obviously left-hand drive can go anywhere in the world. So even though they predominantly drive right-hand drive cars, anything of great value or prestigity, you find left-hand drive.
And you've got these little go-karts here as well. Any backstory in these?
Just the backstory. It's the same again, really. These were bought at the start of lockdown from a friend of mine, and it was more so because we've got a little bit of land out the back, and my lads they jump on and put the helmets on, and they whiz around all over the place on them. So yeah, that's what they were for. This is a Nissan Sunny truck, really popular in Japan. But as you can see, the condition of this one is beautiful. It really is a nice car. I brought that back. I repainted it. I did the wheels, as you can see. Just refurbed the wheels, put new tyres on it. But in general, it was a good, solid car to start with. The Alpha is the Conrero that I told you about. I will actually tell you what number it is. I'm sure it's number 3. And believe it or not, yeah, this one's number 3. Believe it or not, out of 5 cars in the world, I've actually had number 5 as well. So I've had number 3 and number 5, and I sold number 5 to a friend of mine, John Cartledge. Has a place in the Midlands. He has number 5, so we're actually going to put them together for a photo shoot. I think it's going to happen this year. The red one's a Peugeot 1.9 GTI. In Japan, as you see, it's got the 1.6 wheels on if anyone's really looking hard into it. But in Japan, they supplied the 1.9 GTI Cabriolet with 1.6 wheels on them. It was just the way they did it. I don't know whether it was to do with like licensing and anything over there. The one next to that's it's a Mitsubishi J-type Jeep, built under license from the Willys Jeep. Great fun. And the one next to it is a MR2 supercharger T-bar. Same again, really rare car now, become more and more rare, especially supercharger and T-bar. That's just come over. I haven't really done anything to that car yet. It's, you know, maybe this week or next week I'm going to get it clean, polished. Yeah. I've put stock wheels on it since it came. That's what I did. And this one here is the Arden Jaguar XK8. Really hard to find with all the Arden extras on it. And because it's come from Japan, it's pretty much time preserved. You can see there, I've done nothing to renovate it or nothing. Literally came as that looks there.
How many of the Minis do you have?
I actually think at the present I've got 63 classic Minis. This is just a small selection, and I'll show you some upstairs as well. I'll give you a quick run through what they are. I mean, just look at the condition. This is what you, if you know what you're buying when you're buying. This is a really rare Island Blue one, and it's a Mini 40th. So they're going up and up and up every single year. There'll never be a right time to buy one. If you think they're expensive now, they're just going to go more and more. This one's, we call this, in the UK, this was built as a Mini LE, and I believe they only made 200 of those. I think I have 2 of those. Yeah, there's another one there. But in Japan, where they're all built along bridge, they're shipped out to Japan. There was more Minis in the 90s in Japan than that was made for here. But in Japan, that was called the BSCC, but it was called the LE here.
So I understand this is a bit of a special Mini, this one here in the corner.
Yeah, these are quite a popular one at the moment. People are liking this, and I suppose it goes back to the person who it's from, and the era, the nostalgic with it. And this is a Paul Smith, and there's a quick story behind this. I'll be really quick with the story with it. But when he went to do it with Mini, he got up to walk out at the end, and they said, "Oh, you haven't told us what colour you want them in." So for the UK, he actually had I believe it was a Lacoste t-shirt, and he picked a pair of scissors up and he cut the collar off it. And he said, can you do them in that colour? And that's hence the reason that you find them in the purpley blue colour. It was actually from his shirt. But for Japan, because they wanted them so much, Mini took black and white Mayfairs too, and they made the Paul Smith from the black and white Mayfairs. So for Japan, you have purple, black and white. Show you inside here, look. They came like things like, look, it's got like full black leather, white dash, magnolia dials. They use the Mini Light wheels. And then there was a few extra touches that they did to it to make it noticeable. There's a lime green boot cover. And I believe, I know, that under the bonnet, they put all like the lime green top, the Paul Smith UK badge, 18 karat gold bonnet badge. these here, these are pretty much one of my new projects over the last few years. I have a few good business partners now in South America, and one of the guys, he restores and builds and puts the pop tops, full camper version. That's on that one. That's a more modern one. It's a 2012. It's one of the water cooled ones, but obviously still looks like an old vehicle. This one here is from the late 60s, early 70s. This one, just pretty much restored it back to a basic bus. The one on the front we've done as a Samba. Oh, actually no, we've done Samba on this one. So we've got Samba windows, rag top, and safari windows on the front and sides, which the safari means that they open like this. And the colour is a Baracus olive pearl green. The little pink one, actually, I've got some pictures of me and my daughter doing this one. We did this in lockdown. This is a Subaru Samba. And it's meant to look like a vintage camper van. But we actually did it. There's photographs of us painting the wheels, doing the tyres, putting the eyelashes on, putting all the carpets and fur in it. You know, she really enjoyed doing that one. She tells me I've got to keep that for her.
So this takes us to the next level then, Lee?
Yeah, same again. You'll see plenty of minis around. You know, they tend to be scattered around because I've got so many. You've got to try and find somewhere to put them. But there's a 35th. That's just a mini with a sports pack, just a normal Mini Cooper. There's another 35th. That's one of the ERA turbos, the green one. I think we have 3. We do. That's a rare car. It's a Daihatsu Lisa Turbo Spider. And I know they didn't make many of those. I don't know the exact numbers they made, but a very rare car. Still got its parking ticket on from Japan. So, this is where I tend to sit and scour around for cars on the internet, and if I'm relaxing a bit, keeping out the way. This here is it's a Mazda AZ1 and gull-wing doors. The value of these has just gone crazy. Like 2 years ago, you could pick one of these up for around about 6 or 7 grand, maybe a couple of years ago. But now you're like looking 12,000 up over, anything up to £20,000 for one. It has a similar look to the old little Ford RS that they made. This lift is what brings the cars up to here. We bring them up, we've got some skates, so rather than driving around in the car park, we put this, here's the skates under this Mini here. So we put the skates on them, we spin them round, put them in place, and then they stay there until you start to swap it around a bit.
How often do you think you're going to move around? Every week you're changing it, and every week you're moving?
Yeah, I try not to, but yes, you know, every now and then you think, oh, do you know what, that'll look better there. So this is a same again. It's an AW11 MR2 Mark 1, and I brought this over, and the sun had damaged it in Japan. So this was part of lockdown. Actually, we did so much in lockdown. I prepared this car here, and me and a friend of mine who paints cars, we turned this car around in about 10 days. And if you've seen the pictures of it before and after, because it was a solid car already, it was literally paint, fade, the wrong wheels, they changed the seat in it. So we bought all stock parts and put it back, and you know, it's probably one of the nicest ones you'll find now.
Just over your shoulder to the left here.
This is the motorcycle, the wooden one, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I say, this is the one that the boys built, you know, 12 years old. But you can see the detail in it. Like I said to you earlier on, the pace car, like you'll probably never ever see another one in the UK. You know, I mean, never say never, but I doubt you'll see another one. I was in South America, and I seen it in Sao Paulo, and that's obviously where the Grand Prix was, the Ayrton Senna Grand Prix. And they used one of these with an orange light on it to set the race off. And they made, I believe it's 30 of these, and this is an original of those that they made. So when I seen it, I just, you know, had to have it. Where will you ever find another one? This is one of the ERA turbos. They only made these. They actually only made these in red and green, I believe. I don't know whether they actually made a black one. And obviously this is one of the red ones. And they made one blue one for a Japanese customer. But I do believe that in the factory it started off as a red or a green one. And they made a blue one, and that's just over here. And the paintwork and everything was on it. It's exceptional. It was done in factory. It was exceptional. A couple of non-standard bits on it. The wheels are different. It's got Revolution wheels on instead of the normal ERA ones.
So tell us about this bad boy here.
That's a Lotus 340R. It's you can use them on the class as a track car, stroke road car, and they only made 340, hence the name of them. Seen that pop up. There is a few of them in the UK. They're not really difficult to find one, but to find one in the condition that's in, with it being in Japan, is difficult. So when it came up, I thought, you know, I've got to try and add that to the collection and put it in here.
Right. So what's next?
Well, I think I'll show you the kids' reward. Really, this is for all the effort the kids have put in here to like make this for me and them. They didn't get so much reward, so I'll show you the kids' reward. If you follow me up. Well, this is the reward for the kids, this area. As you can see, we've got table tennis, we've got pitch and putt golf. Gloves, pads, new good punch bag, save knocking the dad around. Down this end, they've got loungy sofa beds, heaters, and they've got the Xbox. And obviously we've traditionally built the stand out of our old mini parts and scaffolding boards, just to put the feature in of what we're actually doing here. But in the summer they'll sleep here. Then beds they'll pull in, they fold down, and the lounge around here. They've got a fridge downstairs, and it's full of all their favourite pops and sweets, and you know that's what they got from it. Right, you've seen me shed. I think it's time for you to go.